What's going on, guys? This is Chris with Live the Creed. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to go through my hunting pack. I'm going on a 4-day archery hunt, and I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I do pack and take with me in the field, including some of the items we offer here at Live the Creed that I think are beneficial and useful when you're going out, whether you're going rifle, archery, whatever it is, when you're in the backcountry. Some of the essential items that we recommend carrying with you in there. So let's go ahead and start with the pack here. This is the pack that I do take with me. It's by a company called Slumberjack Tactical. I do not have the exact size of the pack. I usually go anywhere from 3 to 5 days with it. It's a little on the small side if you're approaching that 5 and on day mark. But for what it is, it gets the job done. I guess it's not the most fancy pack out there, but it has hauled out a couple animals and it's done all right. So that's what I'm using, and based on the size that I'm working with, I do have to be very careful as far as the weight that I'm packing in it or the volume of stuff, because again, it's not the largest pack. So kind of going in order of operation, whenever I'm thinking about packing my Slumberjack Tactical pack here, I usually think about weight distribution. So in general, if you're not familiar with backpacking, the general idea is you want to have the majority of the weight sit in the middle of your pack. On this pack, like I said, it's pretty narrow and it is hard, so how I usually go about it, and I'll just kind of be as brief as possible, not bore you guys too much, but this pack comes in 2 parts. So it starts with the frame. This is a external frame and has a meat loading shelf down here. So how I'll do it is I usually strap my sleeping bag to the bottom of it. So down here on the shelf here, I'll strap on a sleeping bag, and then that'll be my first thing I always do is get my sleeping bag. So you want to think about also a couple other things. You want to think about shelter, food, water, fire, and medical, of course. And then also, after that, after I cover those bases, I start to think about the actual gear I'm going to need for the hunt itself. So here's my sleeping pack. I've used this for a long time. It's a Marmot. It's rated for -2.4 degrees Fahrenheit. I've slept in plenty cold and bad weather with this thing, and it's held up quite nicely. So this is my sleeping pack. I strap it on the bottom there. That's the first thing I'll do. And then moving from there, I go into the pack itself. So like I said, you want to keep the heavier stuff in the bottom, in the middle of the pack. And water is going to be a priority for you, especially this is an earlier hunt. It's like beginning of September, so the weather can be pretty warm some days. I like to, in my pack, keep a water bladder. That's how I like to, as I'm hiking, I like to be able to take sips of water with ease. So I like how the convenience of it. It runs right through the hose and has a bite valve. I'm sure many of you guys used this before. Quick hot tip, I usually keep a little magnetic plate right on the edge, so it keeps it out of my way. That's pretty convenient. I've used that for a long time. So with that being said, my water is primarily in the bladder. I'll carry a Nalgene with a carabiner clip on the external side of my frame, and that'll be empty. You'll see why I use the Nalgene bottles in a minute, but that is typically how I'll roll out with water parts of it. Let me grab so how I've kind of broken out fire and water for myself is I rigged up these old packs that I've carried with me. These are from my childhood backpack my dad bought us, but they've come in handy because what I do is I labeled them H2O and fuel. So they're on the outside of my pack, and the H2O one, when I open it up, it's on the outside of my pack. Like I said, I have access to an MSR dromedary bag. This is going to be for when I actually pump my water. And this is the actual MSR pump that I've used for a long time. They still make it. It's I can leave a link in the description for you guys. I can't remember the exact name of the pump itself, but how it works is inside of it, it has a ceramic plate and that ceramic plate is what filters the water from the nasty wallows that I pump it from to the fresh, clean water that it comes out with. So I'll always carry this with me in my H2O compartment. Along with that, it has a lot of other stuff. I carry neutralizing tablets. I carry iodine tablets. So those are just added steps to prevent any type of giardia or bacteria that could be in the water. A lot of guys are using inline filters these days. I haven't tried those yet, and there's tons of different options that are available. Be sure to check out and try them out and see which ones you prefer. There's also a thing called a SteriPen that's a lot of guys are running with. It's a UV type system that you put in the Nalgene water, and it clears out of all the harmful bacteria that's floating around in there. So again, that's my H2O pack. Then moving on to fire. This is my fuel container. And so in my fuel container, I have a jet boil. That's what I run. This jet boil has come with me on several hunts, including up in Colorado. Been up to about 14,000 feet with it, and it's performed, although at that elevation it can be a bit tricky. So keep that in mind whenever you're going up to super high elevations. Your lighters and things, it tends to not want to ignite so well up there, the lack of oxygen. So this is the jet boil. I love this thing. It's so convenient. It holds up to 2 cups of water. Perfect for in the morning when you're rolling out of your tent and you want to get that coffee plus your instant food that you have, your freeze-dried food that you want to make. Everything stores nicely in the jet boil itself. So highly recommend the jet boil. MSR makes a lot of good ones too. So that's that. I always carry utensils, a long foldable spork I should say, was what I like. It reaches into those freeze-dried meal bags really nicely and serves its purpose well. So that's in the fuel compartment. Along with the fuel compartment, let me grab them real quick. You're going to want an actual butane fuel canister for whatever platform that you're running. Again, I'm using jet boil, so I'm running the jet boil butane canisters. Just always make sure before you go out that you know how much you got in there. So if it feels a little light, you should always carry an extra fuel canister in your camping box or on your person if you're going out for several days. So that is also included in my fuel category. Now, with staying on the fuel section, I've put together a little Maxpedition bag that I have here. And inside that Maxpedition pack, I have all kinds of stuff for starting fires. I have regular Bic lighters, I have survival matches, I have strikers, I have kindling, tinder stuff, all kinds of stuff in there, because you just get desperate sometimes when you try to start a fire. I've carried a Zippo for a long time. Not my favorite. It's not a butane one. It's the old style, and it runs out of fuel quite fast, so it's not my favorite thing to carry, but I do have it in there. So that is part of the fire/fuel category for my pack. Now, we've covered fuel, we've covered water. Starting to move inside of my pack a little bit. I will, at the bottom of my pack, it's kind of lighter, but it takes some volume up. That's kind of where so in the bottom of the pack, I like to carry my sleeping pad down there. So I'll stick this down at the bottom of the section of the pack right there. I also like to carry a pillow with me. Sleeping in the backcountry is hard enough, and I've experimented with both the blow-up type pillows, and this is just a compression type one. The blow-up ones are okay, but I've tried them again and again without fail. They always have a leak or some type of issue, and I'm ended up just sleeping with the old style of packing up a compression sack with some of your jackets and stuff and sleeping on that, and it's not the best. So I always carry this with me too. So again, at the bottom of the pack, these are lightweight, but they do take up space. I'll carry my pillow and my sleeping pad down at the bottom of the pack. I also, like I said, this is an archery hunt, so I need meat bags to carry the meat out. These ones are meat on bone, the Wapiti series for elk. That's what I'm going on. This will go above the sleeping pad and the pillow. In the middle of the pack, like I said, you want to keep the majority of your weight there. So if you have anything heavy, that's going to go there. This includes for me food. So while I'm on the hunt, I have preparations made. I won't go through all the food bags that I carry, but I break up my days by calories. You'll see a lot of guys on YouTube that kind of do the same thing. They take a Ziploc, you'll calculate how many calories you're trying to hit and add those snacks in that Ziploc bag. So I'll carry, for whatever day it is, I'll carry one of those packs with the amount of calories, plus I will carry a freeze-dried meal with me. There's tons of different brands out there. I have tried Mountain House. I've tried Backpacker's Meal, I think it is. They're all okay, right? Like, nothing's gonna taste like a home-cooked meal, but they get the job done. They're full of calories, so you're not starving and your body's not gonna be tired the next day. You're gonna have energy to get back out. So I'll carry one of those with me with my snack bag that has the proper amount of calories for me to hit that day, and that'll go in the middle section of the pack because those do tend to be a little heavier, and I'll put those in the middle of the pack. So working my way up, I like to carry, it's kind of like a miscellaneous type bag, and I like to compartmentalize my stuff, so I'll keep everything in its own little color stuff sack. In this pack, it's just going to have things like some orange paracord, it's going to have a compass, an emergency water filter, it'll have mosquito repellent type stuff, just some of the everyday things that, deodorant, you don't want to smell too bad out there, but just some of the everyday camping type stuff that you'd carry with you. That's going to go in the middle section of the pack too, because it can kind of get a little heavy, but I try to keep that light as best as I can while having some of the conveniences of at home with you. All right, and then as I make my way to the top of my pack, this is going to be, you're going to want to think about how ease of access, that's kind of top of mind for me. So ease of access on how to get in touch with your gear. So at the top of the pack, I'm going to carry a puffy jacket. There's lots of different options out there. Definitely want to get yourself a high quality puffy jacket, and that is not super heavy but compresses down enough to fit in your pack. So I keep this always at the top of my pack. You never know when you're hiking what kind of weather cell is going to come across, and it could be snowing, could be hot, just never know. So I'll keep that at the top, as well as when I am hiking, I start in the morning, it's pretty early, so it's going to be a little cooler. I'll start taking layers off because I work with a layered clothing system. I'll start taking layers off and packing those at the top of the kit as I progress throughout the day. And again, all of that stuff is at the top because I'm constantly taking it on and off and putting it there. So that's the clothing at the top. Now, we've covered kind of the basics of what I keep in my pack, and now let's get to what we kind of specialize in here at Live the Creed, and that is the medical side of stuff. So for me, I don't like to carry a ton of stuff, and as I'm sure most of you, as you've done plenty of hunts yourself, you know that a heavy pack can really make or break the hunt. So you're always conscious of the amount of weight that you're taking in. And with that being said, there's a couple different options that you could go here. For me, how I personally run my kit is on my external frame here. I has the MOLLE webbing on the side hip belts here. So I have taken our direct action tourniquet holder. This is our 2.0 version, and it allows you with a MOLLE clip to attach it to any type of MOLLE web system. Like I said, I'm keeping mine on my hip for ease of access and rapid ability to treat somebody. But I always carry my cat tourniquet on the side of my hip belt. The direct action tourniquet holder is perfect for this because it's smaller, it's not heavy, doesn't take up any space, and it's right here for you at the ready. So that's number one. I always keep a tourniquet, a Cat 7 tourniquet right there on the side. All right, so with the tourniquet, I also, depending on the duration of the hunt and what I'm doing, there's a couple different options that I like to carry that we offer. One of them, just because it is affordable and you always going through all kinds of stuff in your pack. This is our trauma base med pack. It has everything that our responder IFAC has included in it. So it's going to have a SWAT tourniquet. It's going to have a it's going to have a SWAT tourniquet, compressed gauze Z-fold. It's going to have some bear claw gloves. It's going to have a compact chest heel. It's going to have a mini compression bandage, and it's also going to have a quick clot bleeding control. So this is everything you're going to need if something goes hairy in the backcountry, you get yourself poked with a broadhead or something like that. This is going to be able to help patch that up for you. So this is one option. I like this option because it's not super bulky and it's slim profile, fits nicely in the pack. I'll keep this towards the top as well. Obviously, in an emergency, you want to be able to get to it really quick so it doesn't want to be buried down at the bottom. So always thinking about how you pack your kit and knowing where your stuff is vital for being able to treat somebody. So this is a good option. Trauma-based med kit. I like that one. We also offer our expedition kit here. This is going to be a little bit bulkier than the trauma, but it also comes with a little more things to survive in the backcountry. It's not just trauma gear. It's got some first aid and things like that as well in it. So if you haven't watched some of our product videos, you can check out our YouTube playlist. We have a whole video on breaking down the expedition kit if you're interested in it. But again, it's not just trauma. Like this is just going to be for trauma wounds. This has a little bit of first aid and trauma, and some medications as well, like ibuprofen, aspirin, Difen, all that stuff. So again, if you look at the size of them, it's a little thicker. Height-wise, it's pretty much the same height. But highly recommend, especially if you're going with kids and you need some more of that first aid type stuff, this is a good kit to carry with you too. So these are both available on our website, Live the Creed. Another thing that I don't necessarily carry in my pack, but it's always in my hunting pants, is going to be our everyday carry EDC pocket trauma kit. So this kit, can't speak highly enough of it. It's very compact. Like I said, I don't carry it in my backpack per se, but I carry it on my body. So if I get separated from my pack, I have this on me as well. Inside of our EDC pocket trauma kit, it's a quick open. Everything that you need for treating a trauma wound is right here for you. It's got a SWAT tourniquet. It's got the quick claw inside. It's got gloves, and we even include a quick boo-boo kit, so it's got some bandages there for you. Again, this stays with me in my hunting pants, right in the front, or a cargo in the back. This kit is one of our most popular items that we sell, and it's for a good reason. It's super compact, like I said, and lightweight. When you're hunting, there's many times where you're going to mark your pack and you're going to separate yourself from your pack. Now, knowing that, that's why I mentioned why I carry this off the bag and on the person myself, because there are times when you get separated from it. So with that being said, as an archer, and I'm sure for rifle, you guys can relate too, but I always carry a vinyl harness on me. And these days, the vinyl harnesses are great. They have a lot of external pouches for extra gear. I'm going to do a quick rundown of this because this is always on me, no matter what. If I separate from my actual backpack, I always have my vinyl harness, and there's reasons for that, why you want to keep it with you. So on the side of it, I'm going to carry another Bic lighter. I carry some trioxane fire starter for emergencies. Inside of it, obviously I'm going to have my binos, and on this side I carry my elk hunting calls, as well as wipes for your optics too, so keep your lenses clean. In the front pouch, I carry another striker, some more fire starting stuff, in case I'm out there quartering up an animal and I get stuck overnight without my pack somehow, at least I can start a fire and stay warm. And I'm also going to carry on the back of it, I carry my hunting license too. So this is always going to stay on me, doesn't leave my body while I'm out on the field. With that being said, we did do a previous video on this before. This is the Zoleo satellite communicator. I will always have this on my person. It straps anywhere with the carabiner, so I usually just keep it right on there. As I go through my hunt, I have access to satellite messaging my loved ones back home. If something happens, I have the SOS ability on there too. There's a couple other brands out there, but again, you should watch the video if you're curious about it. It's in our gear review playlist for you there. I'll link that down below. All right, guys. Without going super deep into everything, every little piece of gear I carry, that is the gist of it, along with carrying my weapon itself and knives to do the quartering and processing of the meat. I usually carry a pistol with me too in the backcountry, especially if you're in bear country. So that is the overall breakdown of my hunting pack kit for about a 4 to 5 day trip. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will link a lot of this gear down below. If you guys have questions about it, let us know. And I'll keep you guys posted on our social media how the hunt goes and if we're successful. But thanks for tuning in, and we hope to catch you guys on the next video. See ya.